Welcome back to the Canadian Virtual CPA PD Day. It's a great day, great panel, great opportunity for us to get to know a couple of other CPAs as well. My name is Marc Belaiche. I am a CPA CA. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. Welcome to today's event. We've had a lot of panelists. We have a lot of speakers over the last hour and a half or so. Hopefully you're enjoying the event. We've got another half hour to go in today's event. And also, hopefully you had a chance to network with some people. I had a chance to meet a few people through the networking area and also the expo area. And we will talk on another 10 minutes at the end of this event so that you can find out if you haven't connected with people or if you want to find out more information about our products and services from our exhibitors in the expo area, you can do that as well. So without further ado, I want to introduce our panelists for today. Paul Gambino, CPA CA partner at Avvio Fine Homes. Thanks, Paul, for being on, and nice to see you again. So, Paul, perhaps you can talk a little bit about Avvio, about yourself, maybe a little bit about your career as well as a CPA.
Sure. So, I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers after Ryerson from 02 to 05. It's been a while now, and I left to join my family business, which was manufacturing actually custom metal products. I always grew up in a business. I really loved being in the business. When I was auditing companies, I always thought of marketing and HR and the company as a whole. So there was a base there at the family business to kind of work with and improve with my brother, and was there for 7 years actually. And towards the end, my brother and I we decided we needed a new challenge, and he had just built his own house, and he had an educational background in architectural technology. We worked well together. We had some complementing skills, and we were very interested in home building, and it was actually a perfect fit between all those things. So we decided to buy a property, and we built a couple of houses for sale on the market. Those were completed in 2015, and from there we've done 6 client builds. So they're all custom homes in the GTA, all Tarion warranted homes, ranging in size from 2,000 to 7,000 square feet, and it's challenging. It's exciting what we do right now.
So thanks very much for being on, Paul, and we'll talk a little bit more about the homes and being an entrepreneur as well as we go along here too, because that's a lot of CPAs have become entrepreneurs, myself included, and it's a great career choice, right? Hilary Maguire is CPA CA VP of Finance at Auvik Networks Inc. So thanks, Hilary, for being on, and how about yourself? Maybe you can talk about your career and Auvik as well.
Sure. So thanks for having me. Paul, sounds like you're a good guy to know because I am in the market for a home. So we can connect later. So I will bring, I guess, the perspective of someone who's working out in industry and is not working for themselves. I came up through KPMG, through the co-op program at Laurier, and went into the audit stream. I'm a huge nerd, so I really enjoyed sales and local taxes. I wanted to join the SALT group. I worked in the enterprise group and with a lot of our public sector clients. So it was a very varied time at KPMG. I got my fingers in a lot of different things and had exposure to a lot of different people. So that was a really formative time in my career. And then after the UFI, I left and went to a smaller practice that was in my hometown, and kind of decided that public accounting wasn't for me, just because I wanted to be a part of the long-term growth of something and not coming back every year and auditing AR again and kind of getting these snapshots of clients over time. So when I exited and went to industry, I went to Mosaic Sales Solutions, which is now part of Acosta. It's a very large marketing agency. I was in the Mississauga office, and I went into kind of customer finance. So using my bright and sparkling personality and my nerdy side to work with all of our client teams in pitching business and making budgets and doing retrospective reviews whenever there's numbers. So again, very different, very interesting, but I missed the debits and credits because I'm a crazy person. So when their director of finance went on maternity leave, I slotted into that role and I really enjoyed it. Then my husband and I took a year off to travel. And when I came back from that, I followed that manager, Todd Townsend, if you're watching, hello, best boss ever, followed him over to another opportunity at Wren's Pets, which is a growing pet retail chain here, headed out of Guelph in Ontario. So tried something new again, working as director of finance at a retail head office, a whole new set of challenges, really interesting, sucked in all that good learning. Now I've ended up in tech. My husband made a career change into tech, and it's certainly a fit for my personality. It's very fast paced. I was telling Marc I'm back off mat leave as soon as my daughter was 9 weeks old, because I was sitting at home watching RuPaul's Drag Race and just wishing that I was working with my team. So I truly, truly love what I do. And I never could have imagined that I would have had my hands in all the variety of things that I have when I was a student and thought that accounting was just reconciling the bank account again and again. So I'm a believer in the CPA process, and I'm somebody who's seen a lot in my career, even though I'm so young, as you can tell. So I'm a big believer, and I've been around and about Marc for many years at different training opportunities and things like that. So I'm really excited to be here and see what we talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Ask us.
Well, that's it. And if you do have any questions for Hilary or Paul, or just general about CPA or whatnot, feel free to share them in the event or in the stage area, and I'm happy to moderate that as well. So let's talk about being a CPA and maybe the doors that it opened for you over time. Paul, doing your articling and then going through the CPA process, what doors did it open that you didn't think about while you were going through it? Because you kind of go, I'm going through this process and whatever, and what's it going to benefit me? But over time, I'm sure it has. So maybe you can talk about that and what it means to be a CPA.
Yeah, I think that initially, working at a big firm, obviously you get some good training in terms of the exam process and exposure to different clients. So you get to see different industries, meet new people, but you're really taught how to be a pro. You're taught to be thorough, whether it's through the exam process or just giving good client service. And you really need to understand what you're doing to do that. So you develop a confidence as you go through it, and then after that, I guess what I found was being thorough and being prepared is something that is required throughout your life. And working either for myself now with my brother or with my family in the past, on the financial side, I would say that it helped, let's say, with getting people to take you seriously. When you're a small business, it's not easy to find credit or sometimes partnership opportunities. But I think once you say that you're a CA or CPA, that people see that you're a professional. So they know that they're dealing with somebody that also has integrity and ethics. And I think that's one thing that's important as a CPA, and we should all be proud of.
For sure. And Hilary, how about you? What does it mean for you being a CPA and the opportunities that it's all created for you?
I was nodding a lot while Paul's talking. It's absolutely true about it teaching you how to be a professional. It's more than the technical, which I think is where people's minds go, that you'll pass the U fee, now the C fee, and you'll know how to account for stock options. But it's actually teaching you how to do analysis, and especially coming out of public accounting like we both did and having that experience in client service. I see a big difference there in people. Often when I'm making new hires, the people who have had that experience understand about quality of work. And when you shift into industry, your client is actually now the marketing department and the board of directors. And it gives you the confidence to present and a way of thinking through really complex problems without any hand holding. And so it's that analysis that I find is often set apart by people who've gone through the process, and that the client service focus is something that I see with people coming out of firms. But there was a campaign a couple of years ago with all the billboards that said, this is what a CPA is, and it's people in crazy variety of jobs. My teacher at the summer accounting program was the controller of precious metals at the Canadian Mint, and I didn't know that was a job. You can really do anything because it just teaches you how to be really effective at whatever you're doing. I'm a believer.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're just joining, my name is Marc Belaiche, president of TorontoJobs.ca. Panel, Hilary Maguire, CPA CA VP of Finance at Auvik Networks Inc., and Paul Gambino, CPA CA partner at Avvio Fine Home. So Paul, let's talk about the business side of being an entrepreneur and making that switch from being an employee to an entrepreneur running a business and so on. What are the challenges? What were your expectations, and are your expectations met? How has being a CPA helped you with making that transition as well?
It's interesting because I'm sure Hilary knows, working with the business now, is that you're a CPA, but at certain times you have to put that aside and say, I have to do whatever I have to do to get the business moving forward. So it's not glamorous work a lot of the times, to be honest with you. It's doing a lot of work behind the scenes to, get the systems and processes right so that the company's solid, and you can start being repetitive and producing good work because you've thought of things in advance, and you've gotten those answers, and you've done your research, and like I was saying before, being thorough. So there is a wide range. It's very varied. The tasks that, even day to day, it could be, looking at more legal things like contracts. It could be invoicing a client, so you're actually kind of doing bookkeeping. It could be getting ready for financial statements, accounting, marketing, looking at a new way to get in front of a potential client. So it's varied. So what that means is you have to be able to manage your time, set your goals, set your deadlines, and prioritize, because you could be going through 10 different things literally in a day, and at the end of it, you're dead tired, and you're like, okay, I got it done. I got something accomplished. And it's not always about getting it done the quickest, but it's about getting the right things done in the right order. It's interesting now with COVID. I mean, we've been working at home since we started, and really my brother's been at the sites most of the time, but I've been, and in his own home office very little of the time, but I've been mostly home office. So you have to learn how to, push yourself, right? And when to relax, when to shut it off. The day's over, you go out with your family, and, with my wife, she's a great support, and you need that to be an entrepreneur. You can't do it alone, and it can be taxing at times, but it's just like getting through life. I mean, you have a support system, you talk with mentors, you pace yourself, you be realistic, and then you gotta enjoy your personal life, because it might feel odd on a Saturday and Sunday not to be thinking about work, but once Monday comes, you need to have that personal weekend, or else you're not fresh and ready and productive. So it prepared me in a lot of ways, but then other times you have to say, I'm not a CPA today. I have to be whatever needs to be done for the business.
Awesome. And if you're watching, or for those of you watching, you can check out the website, which is Paul's website, Avvio Homes, AV like Victor, V like Victor, IO Homes.com. Great pictures, amazing houses as well. And anything you want to tell about your homes specifically, Paul, or promo?
Yeah, sure, always, right? Yeah, we you'll see it in our bio and how we got going, and I talked about it a bit. But our basic thing was we wanted to get started the right way. So we grew up in business, but we didn't grow up in this specific industry. So we talked to 2 or 3 experienced home builders, like owners and management executive roles, and we were just sponges, just trying to take in as much as we could, and then we did our own research, and because you can't rely on everything you get from someone, even though they might know, you still have to go out and do it yourself. So we got going the right way. We followed all the laws, we paid all our taxes, we got our Ontario license, and it's something that we pride ourselves on because as anyone knows that has done renovations, there's always someone cheaper, or will do it for under the table, let's say, and we didn't want to get into any of that because the 2 homes we built as a development, we wanted to do it not only for profit but as a showpiece. And we got clients that actually came through those open houses and said, your workmanship is really good, and it was really rare to see other homes with that, not even with workmanship and attention to detail, but they didn't even have a tear-on warranty, and that's not the law, and they're brand new homes. So it was something we wanted to do. We started off the right way, and then, like I said, we built those 2, and we built 6 client homes since then, all tear-on warranty. We just finished up a beautiful house in Etobicoke for a reputable architect, and it pushed us in terms of higher level of not just finishes but construction quality. And it was challenging, but we're learning something on every job that we look and try to use for future clients.
Awesome. Yeah, excellent. So Hilary, obviously the last year and 3 months have been crazy, ever changing. What have you learned about yourself in the last 15 months? I mean, obviously, you have a newborn as well. So
how little sleep I need.
Mental toughness or coaching, or for other people who have teams, other controllers, VP finances, CFOs. What have you learned? Working with people, working with others, remotely working with others as well.
I think something I'd love to comment on that tone is the mental health aspect. So we're all living in something that we didn't think could be done. In the old days, the woman stayed at home and the man worked, and it was inconceivable that both parents would work. Then we had the great structure we have with daycares and government funded schools, and so we can be confident our kids are somewhere safe, and both parents started to work, and that became somewhat normal. But no one ever expected that you could have a 2-year-old at home or 3 children on online learning and have both parents working full time. That would never have been something anyone would have signed up for. So I'm really lucky with my team. We have a very diverse team, and there's people on my team in all different stages of their lives, living alone, living with roommates, living with their parents, multiple children, young children, children in school, children grown up and moved out. So I don't think there's ever been such an intersection of work and personal before that I've seen or heard about in my career. I see their bedrooms, I see their living rooms, I hear their children. We see what they got on Amazon when it gets delivered. So what I've learned about myself is that we're all a lot more human than we thought. Now that we've had this, we've been forced to leave behind the barrier between work and home and get to know people as humans and really do some soul searching about how we want to present ourselves as leaders to our employees and whether we want to share this part of ourselves with them. So mental toughness, you mentioned, yeah, we're all finding out where our limits are, but we're also a lot more, I think, responsible to our employees to be accountable for the part that work can do to support people in their mental health and in their personal life, and how that balance is going, because there's just been no other choice because of COVID. So it's been really interesting. To, managing people in different continents used to be somewhat rare-ish, and now it's a thing. Like, why not hire someone in Spain if you can, if they're the best for the job? So there's just a totally different way of working, and a much more personal way. Even though we're on Zoom, I feel like it's much more personal, and it's been really challenging. So we've all tested our limits in COVID, I would say.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. And also, if somebody's interested in visiting your website, it's auvik.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
So check that out, AUV like Victor, IK.com. So Paul, let's talk technology-wise. I mean, your industry must have changed a lot, given all the technology and changes and everything else. Maybe you can talk about how that's impacted your business and how things have changed.
Well, actually, I'm pretty proud of where we were before COVID, because we were already using construction management software. So we were not relying on having to, let's say, pass physical pieces of paper to each other. So we were already using it for logging site activity, keeping track of documents, photos. So we were pretty up to speed there. But in terms of the industry, I think that yes, obviously working from home or being separated, it did push not only for within a team, but between us and other organizations. But construction is interesting. It is slow to react, and has been, whether it's technology in terms of management or actual building technologies. But I think that this has given a good push, and what you hear a lot about, especially when we talk housing affordability and the approval process, is more of the push on the municipal and provincial or other jurisdictions, the approval process to get things more streamlined and just make it easier so that it can be quicker. And the bottom line is more supply can come on the market because we can get the projects out quicker. So I think that there is still work to be done, and but I agree with what Hilary was saying. It's become a little bit more personal, and I've noticed that too with potential clients. Normally I would meet them in person, after having introductory phone conversation. Can't do that now, but everyone is just kind of understanding. I think there's been a lot of patience displayed, and you have to give a little to get through something like this. So there's been definitely some positive changes from COVID.
For sure. And maybe back to you, Hilary. We just have a few minutes left here, but what advice would you give to other CPAs?
People who are just starting out, I'd say just be a sponge, especially if you're in public practice and you get to see a lot of different workplaces. You can see what it is that you're looking for and where you'd like to end up. And if you're already out there and started at any other stage in your career, I would say to widen your focus. I had this problem. I meet a ton of people who have this problem. Think like a CA is X and you're driving towards, I'm a terrible example because I am VP finance, but I think people think of this streamlined career, but Paul's a great example. There's so many places that you can go and anything that you can do with it. Be the controller of precious metals at the Mint, be Marc and help everybody else reach their dreams, be Paul and start your own company. So I would just, and I continue to tell the people that come through my organizations at the more starting up level, like, you don't have to just want my job. You can go have any job. Like, you can be an HR You can work at a bank. There's so many non-traditional roles. And I think we all kind of forget that, and we're looking for the security of a paycheck, but taking a risk, I guess it boils down to just do something that makes you as excited as we all are to come on and talk to strangers about our jobs. Don't stop till you find it.
Good advice. Yeah, that's great. Paul, anything you want to wrap things up? Anything to add? Something we talked about earlier, perhaps, so you want to add to anything? Or?
Well, I think what Hilary said makes a lot of sense, and it's great advice. When I was coming out of university, even just talking about with some of my friends who didn't have a job lined up, and us in the accounting world, that was already kind of taken care of a few months before graduating. But all I said to them, and all I still think today, is exactly what Hilary said. You have to put yourself in a place where you're going to learn. Maybe not make. It doesn't have to be about getting the highest dollar for that particular role. But if you're in a company that has a good culture, that can train you and you can learn a lot, I think you're setting yourself up for success. I think anytime you just chase a paycheck, you're just you're thinking too short term. And I think that in the end, you might hit a wall and find that you never really progress in your career. So I think that you have to be able to think long term, and like Hilary said, go towards your passions, because that's what's going to push you to be the best that you can be.
Excellent advice. Excellent from both of you. Really inspiring, and we got to support each other as CPAs and say, hey, you know what? We're all in this together, and whether it's COVID, whether it's changes that are going on in the world, and so on. So I want to thank you, Paul Gambino, partner at Avvio Fine Homes. Check out Avvio Homes, AVVIO homes.com. Great model homes, not even model, but just specially custom built homes. They look amazing. Hilary Maguire, CPA, CA, VP of Finance at Auvik Networks. You can check out AUVIK, Auvik.com. Again, my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. I want to thank you for coming to today's Canadian Virtual CPA PD Day. The event today was presented by TorontoJobs.ca and TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca, and powered by Event Logic with a K.ca. And as far as our sponsors and exhibitors today, TorontoJobs.ca, if you're looking for any staff, we can certainly help you out. We have our job board. You can search our resume database. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can email sales@TorontoJobs.ca. And TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca, if you're running a business, check out TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca for some upcoming events. And Event Logic with a K.ca, if there's an event you'd like to have done, please visit the website if you'd like to have an event put together, or if you would like to be a sponsor or exhibitor at other events that we put on. We put on 14 or 15 virtual events a month approximately, so there's something for everyone. So I'll just put in the chat as well some of the other upcoming virtual events that we have, and you can check those links out in the next few minutes, including tonight, Wednesday, June 9th. We have how to grow your career in public accounting. So if you're in public accounting, you want to grow, or you want to get into public accounting, you can check that out. That's at 6 o'clock Eastern time tonight. And then Tuesday, June 15th, we have the Canadian Virtual CPA Firm Partners Conference. Tuesday, June 22nd is the Canadian Virtual Controllers Conference as well. So I've just put the links in the event chat. You can check those out. And again, we have sponsor and exhibitor options available. Just go onto the platform there, the link that I'm providing, and you'll see all those options as well. And then just in conclusion, you can reach TorontoJobs.ca in many different ways if you are looking for a new position. Facebook, which I'm putting in now, Twitter as well. You can follow our tweets. We post all our jobs on an ongoing basis. LinkedIn as well, and also Instagram, which I'm just, again, putting them in the chat area as well. And we also have a number of great videos on our YouTube channel, which you can check out. You can connect with us on our YouTube channels. Again, I'm just putting them in the chat here. And then also check out you can get some PD, very inexpensive PD, at the event logic link that I'm posting up. And then we have a number of LinkedIn groups that you might want to join, including the Chartered Professional Accountants Canada group, as well as the Toronto Chartered Professional Accountants group. And those are one click to join pretty much. The Halton PLCPA Ontario Association is showing there as well. And then the Canadian Finance and Accounting Professionals group that you want to join as well in LinkedIn. So, and then finally connect with me on LinkedIn as well. And I'm putting in my LinkedIn information on there too. So how did you like the event? Let us know. We'll send you a survey to complete within the next 24 hours. Very easy to do. I want to thank all the speakers who have spoke before, the panelists again, as well as the team behind the scenes. There's a lot of people involved. There's Alex, Rachel, Sandra, Sarah, Carla, Ann, and many more involved. So I just wanted to give them a shout out as well. And by the way, we're looking to fill a number of positions as well. We have a finance manager role in Toronto for a non-for-profit, numerous public accounting positions available throughout the GTA, and there's also a controller role for a company in Richmond Hill, Ontario. So reach out to me if you're interested. As I mentioned earlier, we tack on an extra 10 minutes to the event, so you still have some time to network through our speed networking, visit our expo and more. And if you want your certificate of attendance, just send an email to info@TorontoJobs.ca. That's info@TorontoJobs.ca. So thanks again, Hilary and Paul, and thank you all for attending, and have a great day and stay safe. And things look to be on a good note moving forward, doesn't it? So we're hoping for a better second half than a first half for everybody, and certainly better 2021 than 2020. So thanks again, Hilary and Paul, and thanks to everybody who's been watching.
Thanks, Marc.